Now, New York's #1 news. Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning, I'm Ken Rosato.
And I'm Tony Yates. It is Thursday, December 23rd.
We begin with the Omicron surge and the rush to get tested ahead of the holiday. There are now 3 federally run sites in Queens, including one at Travers Park that opened yesterday. 2 more mobile testing units will be set up at Queens Valley Playground in Flushing and Helen Marshall Playground in East Elmhurst. The city is also handing out at-home test kits at sites in each of the 5 boroughs. There'll be 2,000 home testing kits available at these locations today. It comes as we continue to see long waits to get tested. Mayor de Blasio says the city's responding, and distributing at-home kits will be the key.
Now we're in just constant growth pattern with testing. We're going to build out as much as we possibly can for this intensive few weeks with Omicron. The big X factor for us will be the home test kits. If we get those in really big numbers really soon, that's going to relieve a huge amount of pressure on the test sites.
The New York City's teachers union is warning that the virus may prevent schools from reopening safely following the holiday break. Union leaders say testing availability and unanswered questions about the severity of Omicron are causes for concern.
If we don't see that it's real and it's not following the guidelines of medical professionals, then the possibility of pushing back the opening of school on January 3rd is on the table. Because right now, if you ask me, should we open on January 3rd, my answer is no.
Mulgrew says the union will work through the Christmas break in hopes of making sure that a testing system that they are comfortable with is in place.
Despite this current surge and its obvious impact on the holiday season, we're actually in a very different place than we were when the pandemic first began surging when it comes to hospitalizations. Today, there are just 54 COVID patients being treated in the ICU at New York City's public hospitals, and all of them combined. Now, back in March of 2020, that number was 970, so 54 versus 970. The head of New York City Health and Hospitals says most cases associated with Omicron are far less severe.
Cases, huge increase. ICU, tiny increase. People in the middle needing hospitalization, mild increase.
In South Africa, where the Omicron variant was first identified, cases are already on the decline. A new study found the risk of hospital admission with Omicron was 80% lower than it was for those infected with the Delta variant, and the risk of severe disease is 30% lower.
Today is expected to be one of the busiest travel days of the year. AAA predicting more than 109 million people will travel for Christmas and New Year's, and that is up 34% from last year and more than 90% of 2019 levels. The majority, they say, will travel by car, with 6 million by plane and another 3 million by other modes of transportation. Of course, safety will be top of mind for so many people. Now, while international flights may require proof of vaccination and a negative test, domestic flights do not, and that means getting a high-quality mask and using it.
Get a flight from Washington to San Francisco. It's a well over a 5-hour flight. Even though you have a good filtration system, I still believe that masks are a prudent thing to do, and we should be doing it.
All right, if you're planning to hit the roads today, AAA says the most traffic is expected between noon and 6 p.m. Choose wisely. The least amount of traffic is expected after 7 p.m.
Mayor de Blasio says that New Year's Eve celebrations in Times Square still on for now. He added that revelers would need to show proof of vaccination and that officials are considering other precautions that would be announced in the coming days. Like you have to show up in a giant bubble. I'd be fine with that. Give me a bubble.
It's the most exciting time of the year, really, in Times Square. So let's hope everything happens. By the way, if everyone's traveling this morning, there's a gusty wind out there for the first couple of hours of the day. It should settle down a little bit after the noon hour. Now, the steady winds are 4 to 8 miles per hour, but we could still see some gusts up to about 30 miles per hour. That puts wind chill in play for a good part of the day today. Going to be feeling like it's in the 20s, if not as the temperature gets into the 30s. So 36 degrees by 2 p.m. I think 39 degrees, and that's a chilly temperature, as warm as we can get. There's a little line of snow that cruises up to our north, but I think we're going to see some flurries overnight, particularly in northern areas. But some of that could drift into the city, actually even parts of Connecticut and out on Long Island. That happens late tonight on the overnight into very early on Friday morning. After that, these numbers lift, so any moisture that that moves in will be in light shower form because we're just too warm. So this is our opportunity overnight tonight into Friday morning to get a little, I don't know, holiday feel in the air, guys.
I'm with you. Fingers crossed we get those little flurries.
One day.
All right. Stay connected with us all day.
Watch Eyewitness News and ABC News Live New York anytime on our app for your TV. Search ABC7 New York.